On Sky Sports.
Seize the day.
Well, it might be a freezing cold night here at Odsal, but the fans have still turned out in good numbers tonight because they know it's an important one in the championship race. Bradford Northern against Wigan, plenty of support for both sides here tonight. And it is going to be chilly because the weather forecast confirms what we've been saying, that we're going to get freezing fog patches drifting in occasionally. But Russ Smith, the referee, has obviously made the right decision because the fog has, for the moment at least, lifted. There's not a great deal of wind around to blow it away, but it's keeping away just now. The temperature down to -2. It feels an awful lot colder than that, but I'm pretty sure it's going to get very warm out here on the pitch.
Yes, it'll be pretty warm downstairs, there's no doubt about that. But who will win? That's the big question. Bradford Northern, the leaders, and Wigan, the champions, come out into this freezing cold night at Bradford. And they know that if they win this evening, they'll move up from 5th in the table, because St Helens winning the other night means that Wigan now are 5th. They will move up from 5th to top. And Gary Connolly, who scored a try last season here for St Helens when they won by 16 points to 4. But I get the feeling that this Bradford Northern side has a grim determination about them this season. A couple of new faces in the Bradford Northern lineup, and that means that they really do fancy their chances of being big league champions. Darks, Caudle, Shelford, Newlove, Kebby, Summers and Watson. That's the way they look at the back. And up front, the experienced David Hobbs, Clark, Hamer, Powell, Dixon and Furbank. The substitutes, Steve McGowan and Paul Medley, the former Great Britain international. Paul Newlove. If we mentioned Gary Connolly, we must also mention Paul Newlove. Both these young centres wearing 4 tonight have got 13 caps to their name, and Newlove back after missing the last 2, a try against New Zealand in that second test. Wigan then have Nigel Wright as their stand-in full-back, then it's Ellison, Panapa, Connolly, O'Fire, Botica and Edwards. And the forwards getting more back to normal for the champions, with Skerritt and Platt there as the prop forwards. Martin Hall continues to deputise at hooker. It's Cowie, Barry John Mather and Andrew Farrell, the back 3. Joe Lydon and Mick Cassidy are the substitutes for Wigan. Phil Clark, of course, not with us this evening. He's injured. Match referee, he took a bit of a gamble, I suppose, 40 minutes ago, hoping that the fog would clear. Russell Smith from Castleford, the Challenge Cup final referee last season, and he joined Billy Thompson in the record books as being a man who sent a player off in the Wembley showpiece. Brian McKebby, the flying winger for Bradford Northern, 9 tries. He scored in 8 of the 12 Bradford games so far, and 7 in the last 7. It's a bitterly cold night, but Steve-O, a match to savour.
Well, it might be cold for the fans, but it certainly won't be out there for the players after the first few minutes. I really am expecting explosive stuff from the forwards, and let's hope we can see some explosive running from that man, Martin O'Fire. He's got a lot to prove.
He certainly has. O'Fire coming back into the side after disciplinary problems, along with Sean Edwards last weekend. Edwards and O'Fire dropped for the first time in their careers. They were dropped for the Regal Trophy tie up there in Cumbria at Whitehaven, but they are back in the fold for this vital match at the top of the big league tonight. So this Stones Bitter Championship match is live from the Odsal Stadium. It's the leaders Bradford against champions Wigan, and it's Botica the boot who gets us underway. A misty night, but nothing more than that. The fog has cleared, and this should be one of the matches of the season so far. Paul Dixon for Bradford Northern.
Well, that shows you the importance of the front row, as we mentioned before the game. That's the first two tackles, both Skerritt and Platt involved, and the hooker Martin Hall.
Clark is the dummy half. Good crunching tackle from Martin Hall again. That was on John Hamer. Clark now switches the direction of play. Hobbs, with that knee heavily bandaged, hammers the ball downfield. Afire went for it, fumbled it, now picks up, but he's 10 metres from his own line, and that's a good chase. Shelford leading the pack.
Tremendous kick from Hobbs, but what about the chasing game there? Lovely tackle by Shelford. Both sides really mean business. We know the importance of having a good kicking game, and Hobbs is the man that can get it down the field for Bradford.
Hall gives the ball to Andrew Farrell. Farrell, the youngest forward ever to play for his country. Been quite a season for him already. Academy international, under-21 international, and a full test cap. That's a good kick downfield. Meanwhile, it's deep into the opposite corner. It means that Richard Darks has to pick the ball up, and then Botica greets him and drags him back 2 or 3 metres. Shelford tries to get away from Edwards. Couldn't get away, though, from Neil Cowie.
Good second marker play, though. Sean Edwards in at the second marker, putting pressure upon.
Watson fires a good ball to Summers. That's good tackling. Mather and Hall. Here's Paul Dixon. Through Platt, but not through Martin Hall. 2 minutes gone, 0-0, and it's the last tackle. Slice kick by Watson. Underneath it, Connolly. Got away from Shelford, but Hamer and Powell was the reception committee waiting for him. Not a good kick from Watson. Here's Farrell. Brushes Watson away. What a run from the youngster. And he just managed to keep himself in the field of play too. Mather with the strong run. Good tackling, Hobbs and Powell. Skerritt, former Bradford Northern player, of course. Once was a big favourite here, now very much the villain of the piece. Hall at dummy half to Cowie.
Oh, that was high. The prop forward, David Hobbs, caught him across the shoulder. Bit of a smile there from Cowie. Good job they got the gum shield in. Quite clear. Woomph. Hobbs looks and says, I hit the shoulder first. Cowie thinks the opposite. So does the referee, Russell Smith. And this should be a gift. 2 points for Wigan.
Yes, Neil Cowie had a smile on his face when the referee blew for the penalty, because he knows it's well within Frano Botica's range.
Didn't have a smile on the impact. He did a few seconds after.
That's the angle and distance that Botica has. It's what, about 23, 24 metres? And just to the right of the posts. But this fellow, with 53 goals to his credit this season, this is eminently kickable and would be just the sort of start Wigan would need. No trouble at all. Kicked for New Zealand in the Test series. Kicks supremely for Wigan in the big league. 2-0, Wigan are ahead.
No doubt the Bradford coach, Peter Fox, will have get the message out very quickly. There's no point in giving away penalties like that anywhere within your own half. The ability of that man, Frano Botica, is well documented.
Wigan, champions for the last 4 seasons, stand 5th tonight. They will go top if they win, and if the margin is 6 points or more, Bradford could end up in 3rd place tonight. It's tight at the top of the Stones Bidder Championship. Cowie again. 5 minutes of this match gone. 2-0, Wigan lead. Bradford, the league leaders, beaten 2 weeks ago at St Helens 54-3. It was their heaviest defeat in the Championship since 1987 at Wigan. Farrell with the run. Last tackle for Wigan. They're just 10 metres inside the Bradford half. Edwards hoists the kick. Tester underneath it, Darks, and he just held on. Icy fingers, and I'm sure a chill down his spine.
He did well there. He kept his eyes on the ball at all time. Wigan caught offside. Bad mistake there by the outside three-quarters, moving up a little bit too quickly. There you see them. In fact, it was Cowie that was caught offside as well as the three-quarters. That was a wasted effort there because the Wigan forwards worked hard. They took the ball up in foreplay of the balls over 50 yards.
Watson, that turns the ball back. That's a good ball to Carl Furbank. Both these sides look to me like they mean business. Here's Dixon.
Quick play the ball by Bradford there, caught the Wigan defence, and that's the key to it too.
Watson again, dabs one for the corner. That will pick up pace on this pitch.
Such a versatile player, isn't he, Dave Watson? Very strong in defence, but explosive in attack. Also shown there, the kicking game really does read the game very well. Played in all three tests against Great Britain for the Kiwis.
It's Edwards' feed, and that went in behind the second row's feet, but that's normal these days. And there's Richard Darks doing the tackling, the full-back. It's his first match in the #1 jersey for Bradford Northern. He played once there for Huddersfield. So strangers to the full-back's roles for both sides, Darks and Nigel White. Could that be crucial come 9 o'clock this evening?
Tremendous defence from Bradford. They are fired up. Hamer, Fairbank. It was Newlove that got the first one on Panaper.
And they're being roared on by this crowd, Bradford. The crowd know how important it is. The players know how important it is. And Cowie, trying to stop the ball going out, flicked it inside, but straight to a Bradford Northern jersey. As you say, Steve-O, tremendous defence.
Super stuff there. Cowie, who's in superb form, one of the best forwards at present in my book, realising it was the last tackle.
Newlove steps away from one challenge, feeds Kebby. Kebby cuts inside, brought down by Ellison with a little bit of help from Panaper too. Watson is the dummy half. Here's Hamer. That looked a touch high. It was Neil Cowie with a swinging arm. The referee says play on. Summers to Dixon. Drops it, but was the ball stolen? Referee says it was. Penalty Bradford.
Silly play. There you can see Farrell to start with. It was enough just to get the momentum going. Connolly was involved also.
Big chance then for Bradford. 12 metres from the line. They're now inside the 10-metre zone with Hamer. Trevor Clark waiting patiently, the dummy half. Fog is swirling round Bradford again as Powell takes this ball up. So close, Bradford Northern. I hate to say it, but the fog is coming down again. That's a good ball to Fairbank. Fairbank's through, but it was forward. The pass is forward. The try is ruled out.
The pass was just delayed too long there from Watson. Planned move with the loose forward Carl Fairbank coming through, but excellent position by the referee Russell Smith. No doubt about it, it was just slightly forward.
The fog swirling round Odsal. You can just about pick up Frano Botica. And all of a sudden, the fog, rather like a scene this from Phantom of the Opera, it has swirled into Odsal. Difficult for the spectators, difficult for our cameras, difficult for us. That's the problem that we have. And all of a sudden, a blanket has enveloped this Odsal ground.
Well, he's played the knock on. They were screaming at the touch judge, saying, I know it's foggy, but surely you saw that one. See how the ball is ripped away. Now Summers, was he really involved in it? Now
I tell you something, this fog that disappeared so quickly, what, 3/4 of an hour ago, has come back with a vengeance, and the fog now is as bad as it has been all day. Problems here for Bradford Northern, but they're in possession with Newlove. We'll do our best for you. And obviously our cameras now are quite low to the ground because we can't see a thing from up here. So we, in the commentary box, seeing exactly the same pictures as you, as David Hobbs has the ball for Bradford Northern. In a dummy half, that's David Watson.
awful conditions. The spectators have got no chance to see what's happening out there. You talk about Phantom and the Opera. Let's hope we get to see the fat lady sing. Let's hope it clears.
And it looks to me like Cornwall has scored for Bradford. The celebrations are on the pitch and Bradford have taken the lead. How it happened, the Lord only knows.
It didn't take it long to get all the way around the crowd. It was an awful mistake from Martin O'Fire. But Caudle in to take advantage of the mistake. It was a big kick. I'm sure it was Hobbs. And look at this. Martin O'Fire should have taken it. He didn't. It pops up. How sweet it is. What a start. What awful conditions. But make no bones about it. They're happy to take the lead at Bradford.
Well, it's 4-2 to Bradford Northern. And the conversion attempt will come in. And it's Neil Summers who's going to take the conversion attempt, I think.
Well, who would be a touch judge in this condition?
Well, that was obvious it missed.
They would only have seen that at the last moment.
And I rather think that the referee is going to have a moment to decide what should happen here. But as you can see, the fog is swirling around our cameras. It came in so quickly, it disappeared so quickly. Let's find out what's happening downstairs with Bill.
Out there on the pitch, referee Russell Smith is talking to his two linesmen. He's going to the middle of the pitch now. The players congregating around him. I think they're going to the other end to look to see just what the view is. They're going the length of the pitch, and at the moment it's not looking at all good down here on pitch side. You can't see the other side of the pitch. We couldn't see. Peter Fox was looking at our monitor to try and see who'd scored that try. John Dorahy coming off the pitch at the moment, and Russell Smith now emerging from the gloom down there to go back to the middle of the pitch. He's bringing them off. It looks as though they're coming off the pitch. They are indeed.
Well, I wonder whether they will be coming off for good or whether they will have 10 minutes, quarter of an hour, and then maybe come back. The only man who can answer that question, obviously, is Russell Smith, the match referee. We're trying to have a word with him to see what on earth is going on. It's obviously confusing for Mr. Smith too. He declines the offer by the looks of things, and he is going in, although Peter Fox is there, Russell Smith is there, and he's now talking to Bill. He hasn't declined us at all. Try and enlighten us, Bill.
Russell, what exactly is the situation?
At the moment, obviously at kick-off we were perfectly okay. We could see perfectly clearly, but now we can't see the post or the corner flags from the 22 from either end. So unfortunately for the moment we'll have to have a temporary pause.
So it's not a complete halt yet?
Not at the moment. We'll assess it very shortly. Hopefully it'll clear. Thank you.
Well, where there's light, there is hope. There's plenty of light, but that's the problem that you can see. It was quite amazing that fog just swirled down over the terraces. The next thing is, it's like someone's thrown a blanket over Odsal, and in what, a matter of 60 seconds?
Well, let's hope it clears just as quickly. But Bradford go in at this point in time in the lead, and really that was great tactics when you think about it. The fog came down so quickly. What better option than to put the ball in the air? It must have been very late for Martin O'Fire. It was a mistake from the winger, but he must have seen that ball quite late. Awkward conditions, but Bradford, they will not be complaining, especially the try scorer Gerald Caudle. You take your chances when they present themselves.
Well, we have had around about 13 minutes of this match, and Bradford Northern are ahead by 4 points to 2, but it doesn't need any words from us. You can see the problem. We have a temporary break in play here at Odsal Stadium, and we shall return in a few moments and hopefully bring you up to date with the latest situation. We'll be back.
Seize the day.
You're watching
That's the scoreboard after just 13 minutes in the fog here at Odsal. Bradford 4, Wigan 2. Gerald Caudle's try. But I rather fancy you won't be seeing that on Boots and All's Martin O'Fire's big league try of the season, because we just couldn't see it, could we? But Gerald Caudle with the try, and that's the situation that we have here. We've had 13 minutes of the first half. The fog, I've never seen, Steve-o, fog come swirling in anywhere like it did here. 1 minute we were crystal clear, 60 seconds later, look what we've got.
It's a rolling plains where you live in Lancashire, Eddie. We're quite used to it here in Yorkshire, but it is a pity because it really was building up to one of the best games of the season. You could see that both sets of forwards, they really want to get into each other.
Yeah, they did, and it is a tragedy that this has happened, but there we are. And I'm told that the Bradford Northern Club have actually already decided that they're going to issue, as a precaution, and a precaution only, they're going to issue refund tickets to everybody who has come out here tonight and braved the weather for whenever this match will be replayed, if it has to be replayed, because the referee hasn't as yet called proceedings off for the evening. He'll take a decision in about 5 or 6 minutes' time, but looking out of that window, I'm afraid it looks a little bleak. That's the pitch.
It's a very notorious pitch also, is Odsal. I remember many years ago when the Australian Tourist was here, they went in at half-time, and when they did a count, they realised that there were one missing. And he was actually still out on the field of play, and the trainer had to go right over into the corner. And he said, I thought it had gone rather quiet.
I've heard stories about when this sort of thing happens, that teams actually smuggle the odd extra player on when the referee's back is turned and the fog has come down, but I've never heard that they've lost a player during the course of the game.
That must have been well before my days. You surprised me with your knowledge.
Indeed so. It's 4-2 to Bradford Northern. The Bradford Northern coach, Peter Fox, is probably as confused as the rest of us as what is going to happen here tonight, but he's talking now out of the fog and crystal clarity to Bill Arthur.
Peter, what do you make of this situation?
Well, it's very grim at the moment, and the rules state you've got to be able to see the trial at the post from the opposite 25, that's 75 yards or 75 metres, and just at the moment it's a bit grim.
Being experienced with local climatic conditions, what do you reckon the prospects are?
Well, it's the first time I've ever known anything like this. The matches have been postponed beforehand, but not during a match like this. We've never had to postpone one, but it's, in actual fact, it just looked to be getting a bit more clearer from where we're sat now, because we couldn't see that try at the far side. Although we did see the try that Carl Farbank scored, and the referee gave a forward pass. Definitely good try with that, and the referee wasn't in place to see it.
But you didn't see that one that was scored in the corner?
We didn't see the one in the corner, but that's the one that counts anyway, and we've just about, we started playing well and got the measure of the Wigan side, and we're coming at them, we're tackling them and stopping them running, so, we were ready for this game. It's a pity.
If you do get back on, it must be terribly difficult to get back in the groove again.
Oh, no, I don't think so. It'll be like starting again, but it doesn't matter. We're starting from a lead of 4-2, and that's a good position to be starting from.
If you start?
If we start, and that's the big problem. The referee, I think, is under pressure. A young referee, he'll never experienced things like this before. He'll be panicking and not know what to do. He needs help from rugby league, and there's nobody here to give him any. Might say, I don't know what they know about a situation like this either.
Well, he's summed the thing up, hasn't he? None of us know what the situation is for a position like this. But 13 minutes, Steve-O, the result will certainly not stand. If the game is abandoned, it will have to be replayed, surely.
I think so. I think the ruling is, and I'm putting my neck on the block here, I think they've got to play at least 60 minutes. They've got to go into that 60-minute zone. Once they've done that, then it can be standing. They can take the 2 points. But after 13 minutes, there's no way possible. Though I think Peter Fox may try to get the 2 points. It's amazing. I think it must have been a little bit foggy in the dugout before the fog came down when Peter said that it wasn't a forward pass.
Yes.
Well, I think the viewers would see quite clearly that it was a forward pass. It was a delayed pass from Watson to Fairbank, and we'll see it now. It was a good move. They do this quite often. And look at that. It was just delayed enough. But the referee, Smith, he was having none of that, and not even Peter Fox could pull that one out of the hat.
Amazing there, though, wasn't it? That was, what, about 2 minutes before we got all this, and crystal clear. But coming up now, the try that never was, or was it? There it is. Steve-O, earn your corn. Talk us through this one.
Well, I know a Bradford Northern player kicked this, and the ball goes through. The big problem there was that Martin Afire would not have seen that until very, very late. Tremendous tactics that when you see it get down, folks say about kicking the ball into the clouds. Well, you only had to kick it a few inches, didn't you, really? But it would have been very difficult for Martin Afire, but he didn't take it on the full. Caudle did. 4-2.
4-2 at the moment, 13 minutes gone. Match temporarily suspended. We have fog here at Odsal. We've got all sorts of problems, unfortunately, and the supporters actually looking out here, they're all staying on in the hope that this game will begin again. But as you can see from our pictures, at the moment, there's very little chance of that. The Bradford players are in the tunnel, and that looks a bit foggy too, doesn't it? But I rather think it's missed on the lens of the camera rather than the fog has got inside the dressing room area. But it's they're all anxious. They're all wanting to get out there and finish this game off, but in conditions like this at the moment, it's absolutely impossible. We've never known anything like this, have we, before? As Peter says, you know, you can get games called off before.
True.
I've never seen this.
No, it's quite unusual, but I just hope, like the players and the fans, that it does get restarted. I'm not the best singer in the world, and it looks like that's what you and I will be doing very shortly.
Yeah, it looks like. I hear that Peter Fox, by the way, is suggesting if the match is abandoned for the night, he would like it replayed on Sunday.
Well, that's not a bad idea, but I think perhaps there'll be a few problems with the rugby league because I think both clubs will want to bring back their injured players. So I think that would be rather foolish from both sides. If I was a coach on either side, I'd want to postpone it up until later in the season, and perhaps then I would have my full squad.
Here comes Russell Smith for a look. He promised a decision in about 4 or 5 minutes' time. He's got the ball with him. He is going to take a look at this situation, and, well, if they say the camera doesn't lie, and if that's the case, I can't for the life of me see how this game can be restarted. But I must say that looking at those pictures, well, the conditions are improving and have improved slightly since we were taken off. The two sets of players were taken off, but it's a vital decision for Russell Smith. I don't think there's much chance. He's having a good look.
The big decision now for the referee is does he wait another quarter of an hour? It's very cold out there. Perhaps he's got to think towards the fans as well. Because if it came in so quickly, and we saw earlier this afternoon how it lifted so quickly, let's hope.
The weather forecast, and you can actually see the post there behind the referee. So it is lifting slightly, but the rule is that you've got to see both ends from the centre spot, or if you're a spectator, and here at Odsal, let's be fair, you can go anywhere within the ground and you're miles away, but so long as you can see something from 30 metres, then you are OK and the game will go ahead. But this match is off.
There's absolutely no way it's playable. We can't keep the spectators or the players hanging about forever. So unfortunately we're going to have to cancel the game.
But just on what grounds? I mean, it's pretty obvious, but can you just explain?
We cannot see either the touch flags or the goalposts from either 22, nowhere near at all, which means under the laws of the game we cannot continue with it, unfortunately.
And presumably now you've got to tell both coaches?
Tell both coaches immediately, let the players know, and there'll be an announcement to the crowd straight away. Cheers, thanks very much.
Well, that's the final whistle on this match. The whistle has blown. Russell Smith has taken his decision. Young referee, Peter Fox said, a very experienced referee, it must be said, and Steve-O, no other decision that the man could take at this point in time.
No, as I mentioned before, the fact that you can't have the spectators hanging around, neither can you have the players. These are highly paid professionals, and you can't just have them hanging around for the next 15, 20 minutes. I know it's very difficult and it's very disappointing, but you have to play safety first.
Yeah, safety first indeed, but I bet you know that now that the decision has been taken, the fog will lift.
Well, how many times have we done it under a player? We've said that he's having a great game, and we put the kibosh on him, don't we? So I think you're probably right for once.
Yeah. Well, I can actually now see the floodlights over on the far side. So it's on its way again, you know, but you cannot carry on in a situation like this. You just can't sort of play ducks and drakes with the crowd and the players and ourselves and viewers at home.
No, it would become a farce, and I'm afraid we don't want that within our game. That's why we call it the greatest game of all. We don't have farces in the greatest game of all, rugby league.
It's lifting, there's no doubt about it, but the game is abandoned, and the two clubs will now have to decide when the game will be replayed. You would play it later in the season. You wouldn't go for Sunday because you want to get your injured players back.
Precisely. That would be my first intention. I would have to do that straight away. I would make sure that bring it in, and I think that Wigan would like it later on in the season when the grounds are a little bit more lush, nice and warm, because they're used to it. They play very well when it comes late in the season.
Well, we're going to turn the clock back for you here on the Big League tonight, and we're going to look back to when the days were sunny and the nights were lengthening out a bit, and the night that Wigan actually won the Big League title. It's the match that was on Sky last season, right at the back end against Castleford. Central Park is the venue. If I remember rightly, it was a lovely evening, nothing like this. We're joining the game with about 18 minutes gone in the first half, and Wigan are ahead by 3 points to 0. This is the game that clinched the Big League for Wigan.